Hello students. We're going to take another look at this reading textbook this week. We've got another story for us to check out. Since we've been talking about plants and science, I thought it would be perfect to read a little story about plants. Now, when I say story, I really mean story time, because the text we're going to look at, which you're going to find on page 406, is called Why Fir Tree Keeps His Leaves. But you can see here from the picture, this is not a scientific text. This is a myth. A myth is a story, oftentimes it's a story from long ago, and it's a story that tells about how something is in the world. It explains something about the world today, but it doesn't use science to explain the world. It uses a made-up story. Now, some myths were believed by people long ago before they understood science. Other myths are made up just for fun. I think this myth is made up just for fun. But it's kind of a different way to look at the world. It's definitely fiction, and it's definitely a little silly, especially when you've spent time studying the science of plants. But a myth can be fun, and a myth can be enjoyable to read. So, I want you guys to go to page 406. I want you to read the story, Why Fir Tree Keeps His Leaves, and then let's look at it together, and we'll take a look at the questions. So I just finished reading this story, Why Fir Tree Keeps His Leaves, and I want us to take a look together at the questions here on page 409 in the Making Connections section. How did Fir Tree develop differently from his friends? So, once again, we're going to start our answer with a topic sentence. We want to make sure that whoever is reading this paper knows what we're talking about, even if they don't have this book. So, I'm going to start by kind of rephrasing the question. In the story, and then let's look here to make sure I get the name of the story right. Why Fir, and remember, each word of this title gets a capital letter because it's the name of a story. In the story, Why a Fir Tree Keeps His Leaves, Fir Tree, and that should be a capital because it's his name, Fir Tree develops differently from his friends. And it's okay that I've kind of just restated the question, because this way, who's ever reading my paper is going to know exactly what I'm talking about. So, his friends, and let's see, his friends were Maple, Oak, and Elm. His friends, Maple, Oak, and Elm, all lost their leaves in the fall. Fir Tree, however, kept his needles all year round. And I'm going to provide some more detail. Like, this is an answer, but I want a more detailed answer. At first, Fir Tree was upset because he was different. But after he was able to help the animals with his needles, he felt very proud about the way he is. So when we're writing an answer like this, the goal should not just be put some words on the paper, get an answer. The goal should really be make your best answer, make a really good answer. And I feel like this is a nice complete answer. It's got lots of details and it really explains what's going on. Okay, let's take a look at this second question. When have you wanted to be like your friends? And I find that this is a much more interesting question because it's not just looking at the story and pulling the answer out of the story. This time you really have to think about your own life and make a connection to the story. It's also a lot more interesting for me to read them because every single question will have a different answer. But even though this story is going to be about us, I think we still need to take an extra minute and put a clear topic sentence so that whoever's reading this knows exactly what we're talking about. So I'm going to start it off just like fir tree in, I'm going to look at this title again. It's a long title. I'll make sure I get it right. Just like fir tree in every word in the title gets capitalized because it's the name of a story. Just like fir tree in Why Fir Tree Keeps His Leaves, I have found myself wanting to be like my friends. And now I'm going to tell a story. I used to go to theme parks with my friends all the time. I loved riding roller coasters, but I did not enjoy drop rides. My friends all loved to go on drop rides, so I would go too, just to fit in. Then one day I decided to skip the Tower of Terror and get a snack when my friends went on. I was so much happier doing that. After that, I did the same thing whenever they did a drop ride. You know what? My friends didn't care. they were happy that I was happy. And you know what? I think I'm going to end it there. So I put some detail into that story. I explained a time when I wanted to be like my friends. And just like Fir Tree, I feel like I kind of learned a lesson. And I kind of put that into my story. So let's see when you guys wanted to be like your friends. Tell me about it. All right, students. I hope you guys enjoyed the story about the fir tree. But more importantly, I hope you use this myth to maybe do some thinking and think about your relationships with other people. And have you ever been in the same situation as Fir Tree? So hopefully you thought a little bit. Hopefully you enjoyed the story. And I'm going to see you guys again real soon.